Alright, hi guys, this is Casey Tarot. It's unfortunately a pretty rainy day, which I love rainy days, but it's definitely affecting how much natural light I'm getting, so today's video might look a little bit wonky. I'm going to try to edit it to look a little bit brighter, but hopefully it doesn't bother you guys too much. But today's reading is going to be all about how you can embody the best version of yourself, the healthiest mentally, physically, the version of yourself that goes after what you want and is actually able to attain it, is able to achieve all of that. And so in order to get how you can get to there, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to look at what mindset shifts or perspective shifts do you need to make? How do you need to think differently in order to achieve what you want, in order to be more fulfilled and mentally healthier or physically healthier. And then we also are going to be looking at different actions that you can be taking, maybe better habits to be including or certain actions that need to be taken in order to help you achieve your goals. Basically, what will it take for you to embody the version of yourself that is able to manifest and attain everything that you want in life? So that is what we're going to be doing. And today I have 3 different readings for you to choose from. We have pile 1 with the blue lace agate, pile 2 with the tiger's eye, and pile 3 with the green-haired jasper. So go ahead and pause, figure out which reading you feel most drawn to. I'll leave timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading that you want to listen to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the blue lace agate, then this is the reading for you. Now, like I said in the beginning, the way that we're doing this is we're going to be looking first at what kind of mental shift do you need to do, like shifting your perspective or changing the way that you view certain things. And then we're also going to be getting into what actions are going to help you best achieve the life that you want, help you embody the version of yourself that you want to be. So starting off with the mindset shift here, we have forgive and the magician. And rather than forgiving others, I feel like this has to do with forgiving yourself. I think you're somebody who's very hard on yourself, and I want you to take a look at the way that you speak to yourself, like the way that you talk to yourself in your head when you do certain things or when you mess something up. In your head, do you start immediately berating yourself and saying, God, you're so stupid, God, you're such a fuck up, like why are you doing this wrong, why can't you get this right, why is this taking you so long? And I want you to imagine that instead of you saying that to yourself, would you say that to your friend? If your sibling, well, maybe not sibling, because people talk talk rough to their siblings, but like your friend or your kid or somebody that you really cared about, if they made a mistake, if they did something small like that, or like took the wrong turn on the freeway, would you immediately start berating them? Or would you be like, hey, you took the wrong turn, let's just do a U-turn, you go back the other way, or here, let me show you how to do it so you can do it better. Would you speak to them kindly? I hope you would speak to them kindly. Or would you berate them the same way that you talk to yourself? I feel like we give ourselves a much harder time than anybody else around us, and it's not the right thing to do. Like, if you wouldn't talk to other people like that, what gives you the excuse to treat yourself that way? Like, would you treat me that way? Would you treat your neighbor or a stranger that way? Probably not. And I want you to really look at like, okay, what little things have you messed up? Is it really worth that kind of outburst? Is it worth getting mentally beaten for? I think you really need to give yourself more grace to figure things out. And remember, like, we are all human, especially you. There's nothing special about you that makes you any less human than anybody else. We all make mistakes. Yes, we all do things that we think are embarrassing or things that we wish that we could take back, but that's just a part of life. Nobody's perfect, and it doesn't warrant you beating yourself up mentally for everything that's done wrong, you know? And for all you know, those things had to go wrong to get you on the right path. You know, everything happens for a reason. But I bring all this up because it seems like the biggest thing that you have to do mentally is forgive yourself for past mistakes and any future mistakes or things that don't work out. You need to think of you and yourself as a team. You guys are in it together. It's kind of a weird way to view it, as like saying us or we, but it's something that I do because, you know, if I'm feeling like stuck or lost or alone, like nobody understands me, I know at the very least I understand myself. I know at the very least if nobody's on my side, I am on my side. And so I treat myself like, not just like I'm this person alone, but like I'm a team. Like I am my own teammate. Like I give myself pats on the back, or I give myself like that boost of confidence. Like, hell yeah, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna do it together. even though it's just me, it's like treating yourself that way. It's like, you know that, it's like, I don't know if everybody knows what this is. It might just be an American thing, but it's like when you and a person are in a potato sack together and it's like a potato sack race and you guys need to jump at the same time and like move forward. It's like something people would do in relay races. I don't even know if people do it anymore. But like imagine you're in a sack with somebody. The only way that you guys are going to move forward is not by fighting each other, but by cooperating and saying like, okay, we're going to jump at the same time, move forward at the same time. Those two people, if they're trying to work together and they're just yelling at each other and being like, God, you're so stupid, you got a lead foot, you're not moving properly, they're not going to want to cooperate. But if you speak kindly and you're like, okay, we made a wrong step back there, but we're going to try again, let's try on the count of 3, it's going to be so much more cooperative and you're also going to be way happier. So start treating yourself like you're in a relay race with yourself. You need to hype yourself up because if you don't do it, you can't expect other people to do it for you. And if you have nobody in your corner and you are berating yourself, you truly have nobody. But if there's nobody in your corner and you can at least hype yourself up, you know that no matter what, you are on your side. Be that person that is there to help you up, to give you a hand, to boost your confidence. I think that that is one of the biggest things that is going to help you achieve whatever you want in life. Because if you think of the example, something as simple as a potato sack race, you can't do that yelling at yourself. You need to be the one to hype yourself up. You need to be the one that wants to be your own teammate. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's so easy for us to fall into this habit of like being mad at ourselves and wanting to beat ourselves up because it's kind of like our brain's way of being like, don't ever make that mistake again. But you need to learn that there are multiple ways to do things. There are multiple ways to learn from a mistake, and it doesn't have to be the one where it's like you're rude to yourself or yelling at yourself or hating yourself or wanting to slap yourself. You don't need to live like that. In fact, choosing to do the opposite is going to get you a lot further because you have the forgive card clarified by the magician. And the magician is all about action. He is the master manifester. He is the guy that like whatever he wants to bring into reality, he has all the tools and the know-how to create it in his reality, to make sure that it is going to happen. And for you, you can be that version of yourself that always has your back. No matter what you want to manifest, no matter what you want to bring into your life, you can do it. But it requires you to stop fighting yourself, to be on your own team. It's like if a train was trying to split itself and go this way and also go this way at the same time, it's going to go nowhere. It needs to work together to stay on the track. And that's you. You know, start thinking of yourself and that voice in your head as like your teammate, somebody that you're bonded to for life, somebody that it's just you and them in this world together. And you are the ones that are going to help each other get through and achieve whatever you want. So the next time that you hear yourself having that kind of negative voice in your head, kind of fight it a little bit and say like, you don't need to talk to me that way. Like we can be friends, we can be chill with each other, we can be cordial adults and talk to each other maturely. And also something that has helped me when dealing with not necessarily like berating myself, but just like feeling like I can't accomplish certain things, being like, this is never going to work out, or it could never work, like I can't make it happen. That voice in your head, instead of viewing it as an enemy, view it as it's trying to help you. Because in reality, that mental fear is trying to hold you back from getting hurt. That's why, like, if you've got a crush on somebody and you want to tell them, the voice in your head is like, they'll never like you back. You're going to get embarrassed in front of everybody. That voice is just trying to protect you. So instead of being like, shut the hell up, like, I don't need to listen to you, say, listen, I recognize that you're trying to stop me from getting hurt, but I don't need you to protect me anymore. I don't need you to hold me back anymore. And over time, that voice in your head, those fears that manifest as holding you back, are going to lessen until you no longer deal with them. So you have two different options of going about it. It's like the aggressive way, being like, get the hell out of here, voice, I don't need you. Or being like, I understand now why you're saying these things to me, and I thank you for trying to help me, but I no longer need you to help me because I can help myself. Like, just try saying that to yourself the next time that you have a belittling voice or a voice that tells you you cannot accomplish what you want. And you will see, eventually that voice will start going away, and it will be replaced by your own active voice wanting to be your teammate, wanting to help you, wanting to be in your corner, and encouraging you, being like, you know what, if we go after this thing, even if we don't do it, at least we tried. At least we can say that we're proud of ourselves for trying. Just try talking to yourself like it's you and a teammate who are both in it together. You both have the same goals and desires. I promise you, just that kind of mindset shift will change your life and will make you feel, strangely, it'll make you feel like less lonely or less scared to accomplish certain things because you'll feel so much self-confidence and self-love, not just for yourself, but for that like imaginary teammate version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage you to try it out. It might sound a little weird saying like us and we, but I promise you, it works. As somebody who has dealt with like what you've dealt with, I have tried that mental shift and it has worked out for the better for me. So up next, for the actions that you can now take, you have the happiness card clarified by the 9 of Cups and the let go card clarified by the 8 of Swords. So the actions that are going to help you embody the best version of yourself is doing things that make you happy. I know it sounds really simple, but when you deny yourself little things here and there for X, Y, and Z reason. Now, I'm not saying to like get rid of discipline and like every time that you want a Reese's candy, like you let yourself have it. Like if you're trying to stick to like a diet or something, or you have certain discipline that you want to stick to, don't just throw it aside. But if you tell yourself like, we can't go to that rock climbing gym because, I have other things that are more important to focus on. You forget your happiness is actually just as vital and just as important to your efficiency and your productivity as work is. Because there's something that I like to talk about, and I bring it up often in readings like this, where you imagine your needs as like a triangle, right? You have work, sleep, and fun. Now, if you're just work, sleep, and no fun in your life, that's how you reach burnout. That's how you have people that are depressed and not enjoying life. That's how you have people that 10 years down the line, they're like, oh my God, what did I do with my life? I didn't do anything except work and sleep. Now I have money, but what is it all worth? That's when people end up having crises. Versus like, okay, if you're just work, fun, there's no sleep, you're gonna pass out, you can't maintain that. Or if it's just fun, sleep, you're not getting any work done. But it's important to maintain that balance. And a lot of the times we deny ourselves fun things. We deny ourselves things that make us happy. Because, like for instance, maybe you're sitting playing video games and you're like, every second that you're doing that, you're like, this is a second taken away from work. When in reality, it's like, you know what? It's actually helping you recharge your productivity. As long as you have a healthy balance, you've designed your schedule out to include fun moments in each day, or include, a fun outing each week or each month. It's actually not taking time away from your productivity. So, and this is something that I think a lot of people deal with, is like as soon as you're not doing any work or not doing any studying or not actively working towards your goals, you feel like it's a waste of time and you get this sense of impending doom or anxiety. And I want to tell you, like, if you just take a moment, look at your weekly schedule or your daily schedule and you say, okay, when do I have free time in between when I'm getting stuff done? Let me do something fun during that time. Or if it's like rest and you feel bad for resting, recognize you have to rest. Your body is not just a machine that can run 24/7. You have to be able to rest. Even if it's like a nap here and there, it's still it's something that your body requires. And you need to forgive yourself and not get so mad at yourself for wanting to do these things. Give yourself a day off here and there. Allow yourself to pursue what you want. Because not only will it make you feel a lot more balanced in every aspect, not only will it make you more productive towards your goals, because you get that moment to recharge mentally and like re-up your vibes, but it's going to make you a happier version of yourself as a whole. And that's really what we're all going after. Like, yeah, we go for money because we want to be comfortable and stuff, but if you look at the feeling state that we're trying to achieve, at the end of the day, we just want to be happy people. And if you can sprinkle in bits of that here and there and not feel guilty for it, it's going to make you feel so much more balanced, so much more happy. Trust me, try to work it into your schedule, because I know a lot of people are very busy and you might be saying like, I don't have time for that. I promise you, you do. The world isn't going to burn down if you take 30 minutes to go play a video game, or if you take a day off here and there. Trust me. And it'll be good for you. Like, it will make you feel recharged. Not just like sleep-wise, but mentally you'll feel a lot clearer, you'll feel a lot more happy, you'll have a smile on your face, and people can sense when somebody is really enjoying life. It makes people want to be around you more, it makes people trust you more because you've just got like this good vibe about you. It will improve your life overnight, and when I tell you, like, the way to embody the best version of yourself, the best version of yourself is not a workhorse. It's not an efficiency or productivity machine. It's somebody who is fulfilled, somebody who is mentally and physically healthy, somebody living a balanced life in all aspects. Something I'll encourage you to look at the 6 needs of life, I think it's called, or maybe the 5 needs of life, and go look at the pictures online, and it has like the different areas of life that need to be fulfilled. And one of those is fun. Some other ones is like, spiritual fulfillment, career fulfillment, purpose fulfillment. Look at all of those, and I want you to really look at the different areas of your life and say, like, am I fulfilling this? Because when all of those are fulfilled, that's when you live a properly balanced life. And you can actually look at like a diagram and see like how balanced is my life. That'll help you out a ton. I really think it will. And then finally, the last action that I think will help you, you have the Let Go card and the 8 of Swords. I think, if you're watching this right when I posted this, it's just the beginning of 2024. So it's a new year, and, New Year's resolution, whatever, you don't need to have New Year's resolutions. But I want you to go into this new year thinking like, this is a new cycle. It's time to cut out things that are no longer serving you. This can look as simple as like decluttering your room, or it could look like, I've been in this friend group where I don't feel appreciated by them. It feels like they don't take me into account. They don't take me seriously. They leave me out of things. It's time to cut them out and look for better. Or, I've been doing this habit and this habit is no longer serving me. It's keeping me down. Maybe you have a dependency on certain substances and you just don't want to bring that energy into this new version of you. Really look at these different aspects of your life that are no longer serving you. Like I said, it can be as simple as decluttering your room or your home. Look at them and say it's time to let go of them. Thank you for serving me in the past. Thank you for helping me get to the version of myself that I am today. But I no longer need you as this new version of myself. Do stuff like that, whatever helps you. But it's time to declutter mentally, physically. And I feel like you've got a lot of clutter weighing you down. It could be, like I said, bad friends who aren't really serving you. It could be voices and opinions from people who, honestly, you'd be doing a lot better if they weren't constantly yelling over your shoulder what you should be doing with your life, So if there's things that don't make you happy, if there's things that make you anxious, or things that you wish were not there, let this new year, let that be your resolution to cut out the things no longer serving you. And I promise, if you employ all these practices, imagine the version of yourself that is working cooperatively with yourself as a team player, not somebody who's berating you or putting you down or fighting you every step of the way, but somebody who's got your back. Not only doing that, but allowing yourself to pursue the things that make you happy, living a more balanced life, and finally, letting go of all the things that no longer serve you. Imagine if you could live that version of yourself. Like, I can tell you immediately, without even knowing you, if the whole world could employ this, we would all be so much more mentally fit, happier, fulfilled. And I feel like just doing this, it's not big things, start off with small little steps. You will end up embodying the version of yourself that you are proud to be, the version of yourself that people want to be around, the version that people want the attention of, that people love, that is able to accomplish whatever you put out and desire, the version of yourself that's independent and authentic. That is who you will end up embodying if you can do this. So I highly encourage you to take this advice. I hope that this resonated. I really hope that this reading found you when you needed the most. And if you're watching this when I'm posting it, then a very happy new year to you if you go along whatever calendar it is that the Western world goes on. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 2. If you chose the Tiger's Eye, then this is the reading for you. So like I said in the beginning, the way that we're doing this is we're looking first at what mindset or like perspective shift, if you change that, would help you have like a better outlook on life, will help you think more clearly, will make you have a more healthy mindset. And then we're going to be looking at like what physical actions should you take to embody the version of yourself that you really want to be? So, starting off with your mindset, we have anger and the Five of Wands. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory as far as mindset goes. I feel like you're somebody who's very quick to anger, somebody who, if it's not outwardly at other people, it's like anger at yourself. Or if it's not anger that manifests in like violence or like actions towards whatever, it could look like just getting really overwhelmed super easily and needing to like put up walls and be alone and like decompress, and not having a proper way to iron out those feelings, not having a proper way to get rid of whatever is like overstimulating you. Like, I don't know if you're the kind of person that gets easily overstimulated, but that is something that happens to a lot of people, especially if you're somebody who's constantly on your phone. I don't know why this has happened, but it's like the correlation between like short attention spans and needing those constant dopamine hits and like not being properly stimulated the way that we have for like the rest of human existence is now causing people to get so easily overstimulated. And you see it really clearly with children these days, where they're just like bouncing off the walls. They don't know how to manage their emotions. And I'm not saying that you're like that, but it could be something along those lines where you are the kind of person that if everything is too loud, if things aren't working out, if people are annoying you, you can suddenly, it's like a fuse is lit and you know like that bomb is about to go off, where like you need to be alone, you need to put up those walls, or else you're gonna go crazy. I need you to really examine like when this happens to you, what caused it, what were the circumstances around you? Because if you don't know a lot about overstimulation, it can be caused by something as simple as like there's too much noise in this grocery store. The wheel on my grocery cart is like shaking too much and making a squealing noise, and somebody just tapped me on the shoulder, and all of a sudden it's like it's too much sensory overload. I need to go to the car, I need to be alone, like I need to put my head down. That is a very real thing that happens to a lot of people. It's something I deal with sometimes, maybe not in like the grocery store sense, but like especially if I'm driving and like my friends are like making a bunch of noise in the car and the music is playing and I can't figure out the directions. Oh my god. Ugh. Like just thinking about it makes me want to go crazy. But I feel like you're somebody who you easily deal with overstimulation, and it's something that you really, nobody loves it. Nobody likes to be overstimulated, but I think you're somebody who's really not proud of it and you just don't know where to start with it. Now, I'm going to say I am not an expert. I'm just reading the cards. I urge you to look into this, but look into like actual, what experts say about how to deal with it. But what I will say is I want you to examine like what causes you to be in those situations. First of all, so that you can avoid them, but also to recognize that we cannot control what's going on around us. Like if you were in the grocery store, for instance, you can't control that the cart wheel is making that squealing noise, and you can't control the volume of the people around you, but you can control your reaction. You can find ways to calm yourself down, to like really zone in on yourself and say like, okay, I'm getting bothered by all these noises, but do I know any mental exercises that can help calm me down? It can also be akin to like people that deal with panic attacks or really bad anxiety. There's this thing that you probably know about it, but it's like taking a moment to really zone in on what you can feel, see, touch, smell, etc. So what you do is like when you're feeling really overwhelmed, you're like, what are 5 things that I can see? And then you take a moment, you look around, count 5 things. What are 4 things that I can touch? What are 3 things that I can, or maybe 4 things I can hear? I don't know, look it up. But it's like really zone in on the different feelings, because when you do that, you're really narrowing what kind of sensory information you're taking in, and it will help you kind of decrease like, okay, no longer overstimulated, I'm able to zone in on what's going around me. Because this is all about mindset shifts. You can't focus, or you can't control when you're going to get overstimulated, and you can't control the circumstances, especially if it's in public and it's things outside of your control. But what you do have control over is your mindset. You know when this feeling is going to come over you. Really recognize what are the early warning signs of like, I'm going to blow up in a few minutes if this doesn't get fixed. And finding ways that you can work with that, finding ways that you can avoid it, finding ways that you can remove yourself from the situation, or if you can't remove yourself from the situation, how can you mentally deal with it if you're in that feeling state? Now, I know that was pretty specific. I also wasn't expecting to get that kind of message because when I get these mindset shifts, it's usually more broad. It's something that's going to help you in day-to-day life. But if this is something that's been actively bothering you for a while and really been hindering you, it's time to really look at what you can do to solve this. And that looks like maybe reading up on overstimulation or panic attacks or anger outbursts, ways that you can control it, doing the research online to help you better understand yourself and what causes you to get in that state. Because if this is really hindering your day-to-day life, like if you, for example, can't go into the grocery store without getting overstimulated, it's something you really need to work on, and really learning like what could be causing this in your life. You know, if this is something that you were born with or something that is just naturally a part of you, it is probably not something that you could just suddenly get rid of. But if it's something like because you consume so much TikTok that now you don't have an attention span and overstimulation is really easy for you, it could mean like maybe you need less screen time, maybe you need more decompression hours, maybe work is too overwhelming, there's too much going on in the workplace and you don't have enough time to decompress for yourself. And so because of that, you're constantly like on the verge of becoming like panic attack or overstimulated. Something that I'll say, which this is not medical advice, this is not anything to basically take everything with a grain of salt because I'm not an expert, but there is somebody that I know, which I'm not going to name names, but somebody that I know that dealt with a lot of this when, I'll say like a few years ago, during a specific point in their life. It's something that was caused by anxiety, this like overstimulation, needing to go away or else they were going to have like an outburst of some kind. They did get on medication and now they are able to function fine. Now, I bring that up because, you know, I want to give you all options available. That being said, I'm not telling you to go take any specific kind. Speak with a doctor, speak with a psychiatrist, find out what's right for you. But like I said, if these mindset shifts don't help you, if you aren't able to figure out the source of it and you can't find ways to properly calm yourself down, it might be worth looking into that. Now, I'm not saying medication is for everybody, but it is an option to help you if this is something that you can't get under control. And if it's really inhibiting your day-to-day life, it might be worth looking into. Now, I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, I'm not an expert. Take everything with a grain of salt, but it could be worth looking into, especially if you feel like it's really hindering your life. Like you can't live life properly because of this constant overstimulation or like this burst of anger that you're getting, you know? So next we're looking at the actions that you can take. And this is like a sharp left turn to something completely different. So what actions you need to take in order to embody the best version of yourself. Starting off, you have fear of abundance and the Two of Pentacles. I feel like you are the kind of person that you always take less because you think you don't deserve more. And I want to give you an example that it doesn't necessarily need to be like you, for example, but you know, people that settle in relationships that are not perfect because they feel like I don't deserve more or like I couldn't get more. The perfect person would not want me. I need you to hear right now that everybody is deserving of what will make them happy. Everybody is deserving of what makes them feel good, and nobody deserves to feel bad. No matter what I'm sure there's some extreme cases, but no matter what you've done or who you are or what you think you deserve, no matter what, you deserve to be happy. And with the Two of Pentacles, I'm looking at this guy who's weighing these two pentacles, and it's like he's just looking at the lower one. And it's like he has the ability to get the better one. He has the ability to get the better job. It's been given to him, but he's still looking at the lower one because it's like, well, I feel like I can't attain the bigger one. I feel like I don't deserve the better job or the better relationship, or it wouldn't work well with me. I'm just not that kind of person. You absolutely are. I think you're selling yourself too short, and you deserve better than what you have right now. But it's like you tell yourself, for somebody like me, this is what I deserve. I want to tell you right now, probably 99% of people in this world are more deserving of wealth than the top 0.1% of billionaires. I promise you, those people deserve way less, and yet they have more. So if you want to go from a point of view of like, I don't deserve better, those people don't deserve better. You deserve to be happy. Like, trust me. Like, there is no heinous crime that's been committed. It's just like you looking at yourself and being like, well, I'm not good enough. Yeah, you are. And especially if you're being offered, like, let's say that somebody presents you with, like, you can stay in your current job or you can be promoted to this higher position. And you look at yourself and you're like, oh, well, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough to be in that higher position. So therefore I'll stay down here. But like, they wouldn't have offered you that position if they thought that you weren't worthy of it, if they thought that you couldn't handle it. Really trust yourself, trust your abilities, and allow yourself to reach for the bigger, better thing. Allow yourself to reach for what you think you don't deserve, because in reality, you're probably the best deserving person for it. That's why it's being offered to you. So I will say one of the best things that will help you embody a more confident, happier, more fulfilled version of yourself is, when you look at this fear of abundance card, it's this cactus that's growing this flower, and it's like it has all these thorns. It's like you purposely put out these thorns to stop good things from coming to you. Allow yourself to be dethorned. Yeah, it's going to feel a little vulnerable, but when you allow those good things to come to you, you're going to be so much happier. You're going to feel so much more fulfilled if you test the limits of what you think you can do. And when you can achieve it, feeling like, oh my God, I actually do have the ability to do that. You'll feel so much more confident in yourself. So trust me, allow yourself to reach for the bigger thing. Allow yourself to reach for the thing that you think you won't be able to do. Get outside your comfort zone. Because nobody stays happy in their comfort zone. They stay comfortable, but they're not really reaching their full potential. And you have the ability to go so much further than you are right now. You just need to believe in yourself a little bit more. Be the person in your corner that's hyping you up and being like, hell yeah, we can do it. Because what's the worst that could happen? You fail and go back to where you are? You're already where you are. You might as well try and fail. There's actually this example that I heard that I thought was really nice. And it was about not taking risks in life. And it's like you have these two old men sitting on this porch and they're looking back on their life. And you've got the one man who is very content because he tried and he reached for things that he thought he might not be able to do. And some of them he failed, but when he failed, he got back up, he tried again, and he lived a full life. Versus the old man in the rocking chair that never took any risks, just stayed comfortable, and he's looking back on life feeling so bitter, feeling so cheated by himself because he never accomplished anything outside his comfort zone. And it's like, when you look back on your life, which old person do you want to be? The one that tried and failed, but when you failed, you got back up and you tried again? Or the person that never failed, stayed comfortable, and then just let life pass them by? I promise you, you know which one you'd rather be. And yeah, it's scary to fail. Yeah, it's scary to be put in a position where you're given responsibility and you can't make it happen. But what if you can? What if you can do more? You deserve to at least be able to try. Especially if you're being handed these opportunities and it's like, no, I'll just stay with the one I'm comfortable with. Hell no, let yourself be adventurous every once in a while. You deserve more. You deserve more abundance. You deserve to have your abilities be tested. And so finally, we have inner awareness and the Seven of Swords reversed. Now, to me, this reads as needing to learn who you are better, diving deeper into why you react to certain things, why you believe that you don't deserve this abundance. Why do you deal with this overstimulation or this anger outbursts or these anxieties? Why do you deal with all this? Is it stemming from a childhood trauma? Is it stemming from a certain experience that you had that, like, ever since then, it's like you've thought this way? Why do you think certain ways? How can you unravel and undo these different thought processes that are no longer serving you? I think it's interesting because the last reading, Pile 1, was all about, like, it's a new year, it's time to be a new you. And I feel like for you, it's the same thing. It's time for you to delve deeper, get a bigger awareness of who you are, why you react to the things the way you do, why you act a certain way, why you think a certain way, especially if things are not serving you or if they're holding you back. It's time to unlearn that. And so something that I'll recommend to you is something called shadow work. Now, a lot of people probably know about this, but if you don't know what shadow work is, it's essentially, like I said, looking at the deeper parts of yourself to better understand why you work the way that you do. And you can look up like shadow work prompts, and it'll give you certain questions. It's like journal prompts, and it's questions that when you answer them, it forces you to look deeper inside yourself and be like, yeah, actually, I react this way because of this thing that happened to me. And then suddenly your eyes are open. You're like, oh my God, that's why I act that way. Now I can stop doing this because I know where it stems from. I can recognize when it's going to happen. And so I feel like for you, all these things, all these changes that need to be made mentally and, outwardly, it all seems to stem from emotions controlling you rather than you controlling your emotions. And the best thing that's going to help you understand them better is, like I said, shadow work. I encourage you to do some reading. If you're not a big reader, I don't know, listen to TikToks about shadow work. But like I said, it might be best to stay away from TikTok and get that attention span back up. But I highly recommend that is what you do, because it seems like all of these problems, the best thing about them is they can be solved from within, which can be difficult, but I think it's also a lot easier and a lot less scary than having to go out and like actually affect other people or like go out there and put yourself outside your comfort zone. At the very least, you can work on yourself first, and you can do it from the comfort of your own head. So, pile 2, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that this reading found you when you need it the most. I hope that it helped bring you clarity on certain things, and I truly wish you the best on your journey. I hope that you can heal, and I hope that you can embody the version of yourself that is happier, healthier, and more confident, because you deserve it. Trust me, you deserve it. So that is everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3. Last but certainly not least, if you chose the green hair Jasper, then this is the reading for you. Now, the way that we're going to do this is we're looking at, first, what mindset shift or perspective shift needs to take place in order for you to embody the best version of yourself. So maybe it's the way that you view the world. Maybe it's the way that you view relationships. What way do you need to shift your mindset? And then we're going to be looking at what actions you need to take in order to become the best version of yourself. So starting off with mindset, we have fear of abundance and 8 of cups. I think that you are somebody who you walk away from opportunities because of a lack of belief in yourself. And it starts with you thinking like, okay, for example, like let's say getting a certain job. Like you're given this job offer to do this job that like is a little bit of a higher position than what you're used to. And in your mind, you're like, you know what, I don't think I'd be able to do that. Like, it just seems too difficult for me. I'm not that good at that kind of thing. I don't have that kind of ability. And therefore you walk away from it, and possibly walk away from an opportunity that would have made you really happy. Or maybe it's like going out with friends, or meeting new people. You're like, oh, I'm not going to go. People will think I'm weird. I'm going to be awkward. And so therefore it's like you walk away from an opportunity where you could have met really great friends. You could have had a really great time. But because there's this lack of inner strength, there's this lack of confidence in yourself and your abilities, and this fear of like, oh, I don't know if I can handle all that, you're holding yourself back from opportunities the universe is trying to give to you. Opportunities where maybe you've been trying to manifest a good friend group, or maybe you've been trying to manifest more money, or maybe you've been trying to manifest XYZ. It's like if you're trying to manifest a cake and you're asking the universe for a cake, like that's all you want. And then the ingredients show up to your house, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, I'm not a good baker. And then you just don't make the cake. It's like the universe is trying to give you these opportunities for you to have the things that you want to manifest. But unless you take action, unless you have a strong belief in yourself, nobody's going to bake the cake for you. Nobody's going to make friendships for you. Nobody's going to make you take a job to make money. It has to be you that decides that, these opportunities are coming to me. I'm just going to grab that bull by the horn and I'm going to go with it. Like, I'm going to make this thing happen. Yeah, I'm scared shitless. I don't know if I can do it, But if I feel like I don't have this ability, I'm going to train. I'm going to do research online. I'm going to learn more so I can feel more confident in it and make it happen. I'm going to ask people questions and be like, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing in this aspect. Can you share your knowledge with me? Help me out. If you're not feeling super confident with friends, I don't know. You might need to work on that. I personally am a very socially anxious person, but if you want something, if you really want something, the universe is going to help you try to achieve it. But you gotta grab the bull by the horns. You gotta be the person that actually takes action to do it. Nobody's gonna bake that cake for you. The universe is gonna present you with the ingredients, but it's you that's gotta read the book, the recipe book. It's you that's gotta get your hands dirty and actually make it happen. And yeah, it's scary. I can tell it's scary for you because you've got 2 cards here talking about fear. But what's worse? Never taking that risk, never failing? Just staying where it's comfortable and letting all these opportunities pass you by until eventually the universe stops giving you opportunities? Which I don't believe is going to happen. I don't believe the universe takes opportunity away. But it could look like that one opportunity that you really want is going to pass you by, and then it sucks. You'll never get that back. Maybe you'll get different opportunities, but it's like shoulda, coulda, woulda. Do you want to live life like that? I mean, I wouldn't want to live life like that. Yeah, I deal with fear. Yeah, it's scary. But you gotta push yourself out of your comfort zone. Like me personally, like I said, I'm a very socially anxious person. For the longest time, I had a really big fear of like going to parties and stuff because I always felt super awkward. Like I know I can be charismatic, but it's like getting over that first hurdle of like getting to know people, not really sure where to put myself. I don't really like dancing in front of people. But eventually, I got pushed out of my comfort zone, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to just say yes. The next time I get asked, I'm going to say yes to going out or going to a party. I did it. It wasn't as bad as I had it in my head. In my head, I was telling myself all these stories about, like, you're going to be embarrassing, like, you're not going to be talking to people, you're going to be awkward. But it was actually fine. Come to find out, all these people, they're just people like you and me. They're all dealing with the same stuff. And some of them are so shit-faced that they're not even going to remember anything the next day. So you might as well try. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go to a party. Yeah, I'll go clubbing, whatever. And it's because I pushed myself out of that comfort zone, and the thoughts and fears in my mind were so much bigger than reality. A lot of the time, our mind blows things out of proportion to protect ourselves from failure. And like right now, like if we're looking at the career opportunity, maybe your mind is pushing that failure into your mind, telling you you're not going to succeed, telling you that you're going to fail, because it's protecting you from failing. But if you tell yourself like, okay, I recognize that it's possible that I could fail at this, but I don't need you to hold me back. I don't need you to protect me. I'm willing to take on those consequences. Even though I'm afraid of failing, there's still a possibility of succeeding. There's a possibility of getting everything that I've been trying to manifest. And so I'm at least going to take a shot at it. Even if it fails, I can at least say I tried. And I think the biggest mindset shift that you need is, instead of having your first reaction being like walking away from something and being like, no, I can't really do that, allow yourself to at the very least try it. Because I think that that's the biggest thing that's going to help you. And also just saying like, you know what, I don't need to be super afraid of this. I don't need to, these fears in my mind are way out of proportion. Like, I don't need to be this terrified of, for instance, going out. Or, like if it's asking out the person of your dreams, somebody that you've had a big crush on, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe they say no, maybe it's awkward for a little bit. Or maybe it's like a stranger. Maybe you'll never have to see them again. Or would you rather just sit there on your thumbs and then they get into a relationship and then you watch them get married and have kids and you're like, it could have been me. And then at the end of your life, you're sitting on your porch and you're like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Remember that person? They should have been mine. That job, they offered it to me, but I didn't do it. It sounds scary, doesn't it? So it's like, which fear is worse? Trust me, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is going to be so much more rewarding. Even if you fail, at least you can say you tried, instead of just sitting there in this perpetual fear and not doing anything. Because trust me, I know what that's like. And I also know it's a lot easier said than done. But sometimes it's like jumping off of a high dive. You just got to be the one to like push yourself and be like, just trip yourself, make yourself fall, so at least you can do it. Now up next, it's along the same lines, to be honest. I feel like all of your things are really surrounding fears and anxieties and what's holding you back. But on to the actions now that will help you become the best version of yourself. You have fear and the King of Pentacles reversed. This is basically mirroring everything that I just said, because the King of Pentacles is all about abundance, and when he's reversed, he's lacking abundance. Why is he lacking abundance? Because of the fear card. Basically, fear of abundance card, like I just said. So it's just a re-emphasis of the fact that you have these fears about what could happen, but you can't predict what could happen. You can see like a possibility of like what might happen, but you seem to neglect the fact that there's also good possibilities there. There's a possibility for you to be this King of Pentacles card. And the King of Pentacles has all the abundance that he could ever want. So much that it's like it's all growing over him. And he's comfortable, he's happy, he's content. And so when I look at that card, I look at this version of you that you could be. But the biggest thing that needs to be cut out is fear. Now I want to tell you, bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is somebody who's still afraid but still does it anyway. You know, firefighters and stuff like that, yeah, they're afraid of that fire. But their bravery is not them not fearing the fire. Their bravery is being willing to go in there even though they're afraid. And so all these things that you're afraid of, you can do them even while you're like shaking anxious. Even while you're like verge of passing out, throwing up, terrified. You can still put one foot in front of the other and, you know, sign that contract or move your mouth to say yes, even though you're terrified. You know? So don't let fear hold you back, and don't tell yourself that you need to don't tell yourself that you need to have a lack of fear in order to do something. You can do something while being super terrified. Like with skydiving, you can jump off the plane and still be terrified. And you can finally get back down to the ground and still be terrified. But you still did it while afraid. And so don't wait for fear to go away. Don't wait for yourself to work on the fear. Just push yourself to do it. And sometimes you'll do it and realize, oh, it wasn't that bad. I actually want to go again. And then that fear is suddenly just gone overnight. Because fear is manufactured by the brain. And it's like you need to prove your brain wrong. You need to prove your brain it doesn't need to be afraid before that fear will go away. But the only way to do it is to push yourself out of that comfort zone. And finally, we have a bunch of cards for you, it was supposed to only be 2, but you got 4. You have intrusive thoughts and ambition, clarified by the Tower and the 4 of Wands. And I feel like both of these are mirroring each other. And I really think it's about you having a specific goal that you want to reach. Maybe it's a career that you want to pursue. But you have these intrusive thoughts telling you everything is going to crash down, you're not going to accomplish it, it's not going to work out, so therefore you don't even look at that idea. I feel like, bro, after looking at your cards, the biggest thing that needs to be taken away is this fear. These intrusive thoughts. Because if I break it down for you, you have intrusive thoughts regarding your ambitions, right? The things that you want to accomplish. You have intrusive thoughts coming up being like fears. It's not going to work out, right? And you have these 2 options. You have the 4 of Wands, which is happiness, success, celebration, you achieving what you wanted, you living the life that you want to live. And then there's the Tower card, which is the intrusive thoughts telling you you're not going to achieve that. Everything's going to burn down. Everything's going to crash down. Everything is not going to burn down and crash down. Maybe there will be some bumps along the way. Maybe there will be some roadblocks. But as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't quit, you can win. You can achieve what you want. You can reach this end goal. But along the way, you might have intrusive thoughts here and there. But it's about not letting your thoughts control you. Remember, like I said, even if you're dealing with fear, you can still put one foot in front of the other. You can have your entire head blaring sirens and being like, danger, danger, it's not going to work out, you're going to fail, you're going to trip, you're going to fall. And still, it's like, even with all of that playing in your head, you're just putting one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. You know, even though you have that voice telling you all those things, still, you know, making it happen, building up what you want to build, getting stuff done. You can still do that while you have all these thoughts. And eventually, you're going to get to that end zone, and then you're going to suddenly be like, you know, what were those intrusive thoughts saying again? You know, they were saying all these things, but now I'm here, so where are they? Where are they telling me I'm going to fail? Because I didn't fail. I feel like that's the biggest thing that you need to work on is the fear, man, you've got a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety. I can tell. But what you want is worth going after. The life that you want to live, the opportunities coming to you are screaming your name. They want you to go towards them. They want to be accomplished by you. That's why they're coming to you. You know, I encourage you to read this book, The Alchemist. You probably heard of it. It was by Paulo Coelho. It's pretty famous. But it's all about this kid Santiago and his journey towards achieving his personal legend, which is his purpose, what he wants in life. And it's the journey along there. And you see, it's such a beautiful story. You see all the roadblocks he hits, all the things that seem like they would stop him, only to find out, like, he was going to get there no matter what. And there's this beautiful story that honestly really resonated with me and my own spiritual beliefs about how when you really want something, the whole universe helps you conspire to achieve it. But as humans, we don't, we have an idea of what the outcome looks like, but we have no idea how we're going to get there. And we tell ourselves, like, it needs to happen this way, and if it doesn't happen that way, then I've failed. And it's like, no, in reality, the universe is still guiding you. You are meant to accomplish what it is that you desire. And I encourage you to read that, even if you're not a super spiritual person, just because I feel like it's a great story about what it means to pursue what we want in life. And I don't know, it really resonated with me, so I hope it resonates with you. But pile 3, that is everything that I have for you. I want to tell you first and foremost that being the person, embodying the best version of yourself, being the best version of yourself, it doesn't mean suddenly being confident overnight. It means doing stuff that makes you shit scared, even while you're scared, and just doing it anyway. Getting over it anyway. Because once you've done that a few times, the fears will melt away, and suddenly you'll be at a full pace, like sprint towards your goals. Suddenly you'll be taking any opportunity that comes to you, and feeling so much more confident. And yeah, there'll be roadblocks here and there, but it's about melting away that fear by proving it wrong, proving that you can do it despite the fears. And I really believe in you. I really want you to succeed because I know that you can succeed. But the biggest thing holding you back is yourself. The universe wants you to succeed. I want you to succeed. That's why you're getting this message. But you need to decide that you want to succeed. You need to decide that you want to take on the challenge because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to bake that cake for you. So I encourage you, go out there, do what you want, and I am going to be on your side. Trust me. Even if I don't know you, mentally, my highest self is on your side. I am rooting for you, just like the universe is. So, pile 3, that is everything that I have for you. I truly, truly wish you the best in everything that you want to do. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.